Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Duggleby, and welcome to Book Club. So, why am I doing this? Well, one, I love to read, I love to learn, and I've realized over the course of my career that there's some pretty damn awesome books out there that maybe people just need a little bit of help. And so, I spent a good amount of time. I've like 5 degrees if you count those kind of the two half degrees, almost done with a second half degree, across physics and mechanical engineering. And I remember always like every professor would always be like, read the book before you come to class. And the answer was like, it was never true. In fact, they would assume you hadn't read it, and then they would be lecturing. And so lecture became this really inefficient thing where you know, they kind of taught very slowly, and then they made sure to kind of go through some examples. And honestly, what I've discovered in the rest of my career, as I just again I've loved to learn, and honestly, I read really really fast, and so I read about 2,000 words a minute. But then I actually came back as a professor for about 10 years. In fact, my mom, I'm a third generation professor. My mom was a dean, and my grandfather was a dean. And so just realized that honestly, books are awesome if you just have a little bit of help. And so even in my Navy Reserve capacity, I've had to learn just a ton of things between ships and ship systems, and then, even now in this military masters. And so the course, what I want to do here in the book club is just like take some of these books, like I have undergraduate thermo or graduate fluid mechanics, and honestly just give you the wave tops. And if you read the book, you listen to my lectures, and you do some of the work, like you'll know the subject. You'll absolutely know the subject. So I'll leave to you what you are doing it for, and can you get any credit for the universities? That's for someone else to figure out. But it's incredibly powerful, and honestly, the ability to learn fast and do this stuff has been super important. My first company, Access Engineering, we built these weird trailers. I actually had to read all of the ASME code to go figure out how to make these trailers, non-cylinder, below and below the ground. And this company's still operation and active. And then I went to Virgin Orbit. We were launching rockets off the wing of a 747, and I was a propulsion engineer, had to learn a whole bunch of new stuff. And then I was a launch engineer, had to learn a whole bunch of new stuff. So again, back to the reading, the value of books. If you just have someone to give you just a little bit of high level. So a lot of colleagues here that would just take 5 minutes out of their day and give me the wave tops. I mean, that's all I needed to then just crush the rest of these books and get up to speed. And then ultimately here, last thing I'm doing in Venus Aerospace, I'm the founder and CTO. And so, we're doing hypersonic vehicles and detonation engines and things like that. So the number of times I've been able to just read a book and kind of get through it, and it's been awesome. So in this book club, I just want to be able to provide the wave tops for people in sort of 10-minute, episodes per chapter, and we'll bang through an entire book. And honestly, if the rest of the work is up to you, and I'll just leave you this final story. I had a student at Virginia Tech who had come to me because he had currently a B in my class. He was doing fine, but he had a B. And the answer was, this was the second time taking it, he actually needed an A in order to pop his GPA over whatever 2.0, whatever it was required to graduate. And he said, I really need an A. And so I looked at his grades, and I saw in this one particular chapter, chapter 4, that he did not do very well at the test. And so I said, okay, I have a deal for you. I said, you are going to go in the back of chapter 4, and you're going to get a stack of papers, and you're going to do every single problem in the back of that chapter. New problem, new page, write it down, and then you have, to this date, you better come back to me with a stack. I'm going to flip through and make sure you actually did it. I'm going to make sure you're writing that you did it. And then I'm going to grill you orally a couple times just to make sure you understand it. And the student did, came back with that stack. I looked through it. Yep, he did all the work. I asked him a couple questions. He crushed it. And then I said, okay, these are 200 problems in this back of the chapter. I said, when did this become easy? And he said, by problem 15. And then the remaining 185 problems he just did while watching Netflix. Just banged it out. So again, there are some really good books out there, some really great authors. And if you just want to really learn a subject, you have a great book. My idea here is just to come provide over the top a little bit of explanation, and then have you guys be off to the races. So come join me on book club. It's going to be a hell of a time.